know like both sides of. And yeah, you have Test circled for a long way.
I circled Test for this match. Test, I'm going to toast to your victory as you roll over Pasta and then Rote, and then the loser of Tuskers versus Camel. This is going to be a good day. What do you guys think?
I think I've been super impressed with Test, but I would be kind of surprised if they made it that far. But who knows? We've seen people get to like surprise us before, and I think it would be amazing to watch Test pull that off, especially because we've been so impressed with what they've brought so far. They've brought a setup with this distributed Tinker where they bring more ships than the average Tinker, where they're okay with losing ships in it, that no one else has even attempted to copy yet. They're the only people that have used this kind of setup, and it's been working really great for them.
Yeah, it's a much higher DPS setup than their traditional Tinker, so it actually does roll over a lot of teams. I'm going to go with Test. I think, you know, it was something I think Elise said last weekend that was kind of telling on this, is that Test Alliance as an alliance, maybe you see their pilots in space, and a lot of them are younger, newer pilots or whatever. They may not be the most organized. You know, you don't necessarily fear the name Test when you find them in space unless they outnumber you. And it's just the way it is, and no disrespect meant the Test. But when it comes to the Alliance tournament, really all you need are 20 really good pilots who put in a lot of time and then a wallet to back it. And Test have impressed this far. I don't know their pilots. I don't necessarily recognize some of the names, but it could just be they found their 20 ace pilots this time, and they could have a really solid team. So no disrespect meant to Pasta, but I'm going to go with Test. I think they're going to continue.
Would you like Tests or Pasta?
It doesn't make any sense to buck the trend here. I'm going to stick with Test, and as a matter of fact, that's a name that's very dear to our hearts in QA. We love testing, so I'm with you guys.
All right, Test. Don't let us down.
That last malediction is at about half armor, and this match will be over before too long. So he's got a raptor right on his tail.
Right, the malediction down.
Looks like. You bring us.
I just grabbed 250 million.
This match is going to be.
Right there.
We've got him.
I'm going to disengage as well. Pointed.
And welcome back to the second match of Day 7 of the Alliance Tournament 12. I am Sir Squeebles here with Elise Randolph to bring you Pasta Syndicate versus Test Alliance Please Ignore. Tell us about the teams.
Man, this is going to be absolutely wonderful as you see some scimitars there. Turns out both teams have scimitars. Both teams almost have identical setups. We've got a mirror match here, and they came in at max range, and because of the beacons they chose, they are actually max range from each other.
Yep. This is unusual.
Yeah, we very rarely see that. This is a setup and archetype that we saw last week is very popular. Test is going with 3 Worms as their support wing, while Pasta is going with 3 Heretics. Heretics have a pretty great win rate here, and the match will start in 15 seconds. So we should see a lot of flashy blue boxes, flashy red boxes, and explosions in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, and this is definitely a case of minor variations on the same setup, and a lot of it's going to come down to piloting. You've got these Heretics that are going to have to get in a little bit closer if they want to apply their damage.
Ooh, and Pasta Syndicate is winning the damp war hard.
Yeah, a lot. Damp spread now across the Scimitar, Aquila, both the Merlins on the Test side, so that's going to put them at a disadvantage right off the bat.
Okay, and either our UI broke or Test decided that damps don't really exist in the tournament and they have no control bar. But look at that sweet attack bar. So
yeah, I find that unlikely. But already a Worm of Suicide taking damage, which fitting if he goes down first. But he is catching reps, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen now.
Yep.
Meanwhile, everybody is just brawling right into each other. I dare say Test is actually more aggressively burning in.
Exactly. Pasta Syndicate are sort of holding, they're kind of approaching this MJD beacon here, while Test is just burning straight at them, trying to get locks because they're all damped down. Interestingly enough, the healers are damped down for Test Alliance, and the healers don't need a lock, so maybe Pasta is playing some weird mind games here, but it looks like Pasta are going to go for, yep, The Scimitar of Samatra is going to be their primary target, and he is taking...
Meanwhile, on the other side, Pasta's Scimitar of Cap Q is taking damage. He's already at half shields.
Oh, wow. Those Gila drones are tearing him apart.
That is not going to be a good trade. Cap Q, you need to burn. You need to burn quickly. He's dropping into low shields. I haven't seen any shield boosts off of him yet.
Oh, he's outrunning his own shield maintenance bots. This could be real bad,
this
boys.
This is not good. He's slowed down, but he's already out of shields. It's going to take 2 Gila volleys, and he's out.
What a great trade for Test Alliance if they can pull this off. Armor gone, and he just gone.
Yeah, that's the power of Gilas, though. I mean, time and time again, we've seen Gilas used really aggressively. Oh, man, the Sleipnir of Sumatra. Moment of silence.
He's tanking a little bit. He's tanking much better than Scimitar was. But
he is actually boosting. Yeah, I mean, but even so, even if they had gone down at the same time, it's still a good trade. But what Test has to do now is they have to keep their damage rolling. They have got to take out either a Gila or a Sleipnir very, very quickly.
And they are taking out both, it appears.
Yeah, they are doing really well on this. Adriana Malala is going down. He's already in low shields in the Sleipnir. He's picking up a little bit of speed, but not enough to outrun Gila
Without
drones.
a Scimitar, man, Pasta are just losing ships all over the place here. Now, Pasta made the right decision. They are going for Test Scimitar. They've got him tackled, and he's going down just as fast.
Yeah, and meanwhile, was that a boundary violation of Killer? A Heretic just got erased off the Pasta side. I'm not sure if that was a boundary violation or not.
That was not a boundary violation
The Scimitar
that I could see.
on the Test side is taking a lot of damage, but these Heretics are still fighting the Worms. So as opposed to going in for the kill on the Scimitar, the support fight is still sort of separate.
Wow, Dante in the Test Scimitar is just doing some stellar moves. He's managed to stabilize.
Yeah.
He's doing okay. Sadly, Test are having a very hard time applying their damage. And I want to point out one really neat thing that Pasta did is they swapped all of their dams onto the Test Scimitar when they were shooting the Sleipnir, forcing the Scimitar to come in and getting a pretty neat little gimmick going on there.
Yeah, and the Worm of Digital Karen almost went down, but he did catch reps, so nice work by that Simi. And now he's redamped, and the Simi is again taking huge damage. I don't think he's
tackled
gonna make it
now,
out
though,
this
so
time.
there's no way he's going to
well,
survive.
he's webbed. He's webbed. He's still moving a little bit, but definitely not enough to
And
outrun
he's
the
gone.
damage
So
down.
after about 4 minutes of fighting, we're almost even. Test, I think, have a little bit of an advantage here. They've got Angel Wolf pretty well tackled, and he's going to go down. And just can Test apply the rest of their damage? Look at that huge attack bar. They've got nothing for control, but man.
Yeah, and where was all of their damage while their Scimitar was dying? I mean, those Gilas in the meantime should have taken down either at least one Pasta Gila or even the Sleipnir of Lork Van Ray.
Test managed to catch out, warp out Pasta Syndicate Gila, but he just he actually broke the tackle. Good job, good piloting.
Yeah, there's a Merlin of Lacko going down. It's so weird to me that this support fight is still happening like it is, especially since the primaries aren't dying. These Worms have a much easier time of projecting their damage.
Well, right now, the Worms, their goal is just kind of live and apply their damage. As you say, they can apply their damage from a long way. Warp Out is now taking... Oh, he's gone.
Yep.
Test are back into the driver's seat here. Faith, the Test Sleipnir, is tanking fairly well. He's going to run out of ASB cycles soon. And all of the Pasta team seems to be on him.
Yeah, he's neuted. He must be really neuted because he's going
look how
60
fast
MS.
that healer just went down. He melted.
Yeah. Well, he should. I mean, 3 healers should kill 1 healer fairly quickly.
Yep, Test now taking a commanding lead here. There are just the 2 heretics left and some Worms for Test Alliance. Yeah, they're cruising. No control bar, no problem.
So
bucking the trend here.
Where is the Gila damage for Test?
It's currently chasing frigates.
Great. Good investment.
Yeah.
So they killed the Scimitar on the Pasta side really early, which I think was great.
That was a great tactical decision. I think that it was, since these matches were so similar, or these things were so similar, the setups, it was all decision making, all flying, and Test clearly had a better in both, I'd say.
Yeah. No, and I, to the point of the Heretics versus the Worms, the Worms are more often used against the primary, whereas Heretics are more used to kill frigates. So the fact that these Worms weren't dying on the Test side says that those Heretics didn't really work how they wanted them to.
Well, the Worms are super tanky, and these Heretics were clearly packing some ECM in there, clearly damps.
Target painters is,
probably just damps.
They had target painters.
Okay, they might have had target painters.
They definitely did have target painters.
I'm sure they all had target painters, and they didn't
I'm
have
not
dams.
saying all of them. I'm saying maybe some of them had target painters.
I mean, maybe.
All
Crazier
right.
things have happened.
Little contention in the commentator booth as the Sleipnir of Lork von Ray is going a little bit low. But again, I mean, just the number one rule, always apply damage. It seems like Test did that early, and they sort of left a gap between the Scimitar going down and killing that first Gila. It seemed like that was a really long window. So maybe they were going for the Heretics, but I don't know. That was strange.
Yep, it looks like the Sleipnir of Lork for Pasta is trying to make his way either out of the arena or he's just kiting really,
Zoom
really
in
well.
on this target painter. See where this target painter is coming from.
Do I have to?
Yeah, we've got time. Let's do it.
All right, he's going to try and make it for the boundary.
Okay, but look, what is that coming off of?
That is a heretic. Okay.
I'm sorry.
But, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you want the rest of it.
Yeah, no, you're Gucci.
I think I've done my commentator work for the day.
So Gucci. Okay, let's see. Still in cleanup mode. I mean, it looks pretty close here, but it's really not close at all.
No, and again,
Lord Von Ray he's kind of making it out there. Maybe he's just want to brawl these.
I don't understand what the Gilas are doing.
Maybe they're looting. Test love looting. Oh, Faith just boundary violated.
As you do.
That is an odd decision to make when your tournament life is hanging in the balance.
I feel like it's more of a stylistic choice than a mistake.
It was. I don't know. This is Test Alliance we're talking about.
No,
it could be either
that's what
one.
I mean. You gotta. It's the signature on a victory. This Sleipnir should just be melting.
Oh, so apparently Lork Von Ray, he was baiting at the edge of glory, and he just juked, and Faith in the test Sleipnir just went zoom, zoom, zoom right out of the arena.
Do you think
so he got hashtag baited super, super hard.
Hashtag
He's
baited.
still dying though. I mean,
could we?
That is still mad swagger points for him
Can you
though.
ask in local?
Lork Von Ray,
What?
you're a player.
Can you ask in local if we can get his autograph after the thing then?
I don't think they let us type in local, but if they did, I would want that guy's autograph.
Okay, but he is
'Cause that
dying.
was a cool
he
move.
is dying like he should have died 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, Test taking their sweet, sweet time.
Well, I mean, they got to make sure they don't get baited out of the arena again.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen given that the healers are moving at like, 200 MS, most of them. So.
Well, one's going really fast, but he's super damped. But yeah, just cleanup time for now. That was quite a funny moment. Thank you, Test Alliance. You always do this. This is why we love you.
No.
You don't love tests?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
It just maybe that's not why.
Wow, because that was pretty rude. I mean, I don't know if you want to offend.
Come on, Bacchanalian was calling him out on the desk.
They're a pretty big
just said,
alliance.
Maybe
man.
I
You
like
don't
them.
wanna...
Maybe I love them for a different reason.
Their CEO is Dur Herdur. He's a good man.
Yeah, I know. I think Rise had a conversation with
He did
them.
during the commentator stream yesterday.
There's a bit of a
Dur
USA
Herdur
chant.
Message CCP Rise with the phrase USA, USA, USA until Rise just closed the comment.
At which point he said number 1.
Yeah.
So, two
So
Merlins.
Tests are currently just looting the field now.
Yeah. Are they fancy drones?
Nope. They are actually, there's some Tech 1 drones on the field.
Okay, so was all of the drone bandwidth not from the healers? Was that used up with rep bots?
Many of the Merlins and stuff had rep bots.
Oh, how do I get into Pandemic Legion?
I don't know. We're like an elite tier alliance.
Oh,
elite
yeah.
tier alliance. But they were Tech 1 rep drones. Look at all those Tech 1 rep bots. Tests are going to have their field day with Tech 1 rep drones.
I'm having my field day. That was a great match.
That was fantastic. Thank you,
Lord
Test Alliance.
Almighty.
You win, you advance. Pasta Syndicate, you're eliminated. And we are now going to send it back to you in the studio.
Merlin drone beat.
I was right.
Little bees, little bees, little bees, little bees. Wait for instructions, little bees.
Come on, guys. Own with me, friends. Own with me. No fear, Luke. No fear, no fear, no fear. I don't believe in reloads. No reloading. Logistics you up. Bonga! Scrams, dude. Scrams, 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 scrams. All the things. Scram them. Some of you dudes being horrifically outpaced by this time. I'm just saying. That was epic.
The Ronin.
I mean, the Ronin have crazy tournament pedigree.
But there you go. Nice.
Good work. Good work, Test. You did it.
That was an amazing match in so many ways.
Finally, I get to say my pun that I've used, even though I shouldn't have. Pasta is now al dente.
Oh,
That's
There you
horrible.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
that's really
It
terrible.
was a
Pasta
very-
has been sauced. Come on. Or something.
Don't you come to my show and one-up me.
Antiquarian. Gargan's been working on this for like 3 weeks.
Right.
All right,
And you
then.
show up and you beat him in puns. Right.
All right, let's see. This was a very interesting match in many ways.
Yes. So the pasta Sleipnirs were artillery Sleipnirs, which, I mean, that's something that we've seen Hydra and Camel use very effectively, but it obviously meant that their overall DPS was a lot lower. So the test team just kind of brought max DPS and were able to eventually get those kills faster, especially the kill on the Scimitar. My favorite part of the whole match, though, was I think I've never seen something as big as a Sleipnir getting killed by an Edge of Glory bait. That was amazing. We actually saw the past the Sleipnir, he got himself out to like 124 and then just sat there. And then he knew that the test Sleipnir was going to charge at him, and he just moved out of the way, and the test guy just went out. It was so great.
Yeah, I don't think there's another alliance in this tournament that manages to win, but still look a little sloppy doing it.
I mean, there's PL.
There is PL.
Yeah.
So this is now a competition between PL and Test as who can
boundary violate the most significant
who
thing.
can win less.
So I learned a few things during that match. I learned that 3 Helas beats 1 Hela.
That's a very important point.
That Merlin drones are totally OP, and that Sir Squeebles and Elise Randolph living together for a week and a half have turned into an old married couple.
They're there for color commentary, that's for sure.
No, that
So
was.
I got a question. The control bar there that's happening. So Test comes in with nothing. Is that common? Are we going to see more of that?
Seeing it at 0 is pretty uncommon. In this case, actually, it appears that there's an issue with the control bar that's not showing scramblers, which it should. Though they're not worth a ton of points in that control thing. So it should have been actually just a pretty small control bar rather than 0. Usually, we'll see teams bringing dampeners or ECM or tracking disruptors or newts or target painters, and those all feed into that bar. So having none of those, like just having scrams, definitely made Test setup pretty unique in that way. They went with the full kind of hammer rather than any finesse.
I mean, you can see that reflected a little bit in the other 2 bars, right? The attack bar was much larger for Test, as was the defense bar, which means the mid slots that may have been used for E-War on the Pasta team were being used, for tank on the Test side. So they went traditional kind of tank and spank, and the Pasta tried a little bit more finesse in the artillery setup and wound up, just not having the same, success.
We can conclude from all this that it's not the size of the bar, it's how you use it. And with that, we say goodbye to Pasta Syndicate and Test Alliance, move on to face Hydra at 440.
And I'm sure they're like really looking forward to that match, and
I
not
am.
nervous at all.
They are going to prove me right, because I have them circled there too, but more on that a little later. So next match is going to be Shadow Cartel versus the Afterlife. Shadow Cartel have banned the Proteus and the Loki, while the Afterlife team have banned the Tengu and the Molus.
Proteus and Loki.
That's
the first time we've seen that ban.
Interesting.
Well, because the Tengu was banned by the other side. Tengu was banned by
the Afterlife.
Afterlife. So that means they probably banned the Loki after the Tengu ban was already there. So they've got everything except for Legion, which is I think the only one we haven't seen people use in a Tinker setup so far. But it can work in the armor setups. Those are all off the table other than the Legion. So we're much less likely to see a Tinker. Afterlife has shown some pretty strong Tinker teams, including the one that they almost beat PL with. Yeah, and the Mollusk ban is kind of almost a no-brainer at this point in a lot of ways. If you're not going to bring them yourself, you really should ban them out.
Yeah, that was something odd actually about the first 2 matches. They weren't banned and they weren't brought. And I was, we did see Damps in the second one, but it was interesting to me. If I'm not mistaken, both these teams, the only losses have come to Pandemic Legion, is that right? And they were both very close matches. So
incredibly close, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting match, really good match. I think neither of these teams, drew particularly lucky straws when they got dumped into the elimination bracket. They probably could have gone pretty far in the winners bracket if not for meeting PL. So I'm really excited. I'm actually thinking Shadow Cartel have the upper hand, though. I think their performance has been just a little bit sharper than Afterlife through this. So
yeah, I also have Shadow Cartel circled, but it could go either way. Both of these teams came within like a hair's breadth of knocking off the defending champions, knocking them down to the losers bracket, and yeah, they're both really, really strong this year.
I am going with Shadow Cartel for this match too. What do you think?
I am bucking this trend. I'm gonna say Afterlife. That's the other match that I saw yesterday. That's not yesterday. Last week.
It's also curious that we all circled Test Alliance for the last match, and they still won. So I believe that my predictions of this just being incompetence rather than some supernatural curse is true.
Yeah, or Test just broke the curse. They're the only people with magic stronger than TNT's voodoo.
Right. All right. I want to ask Antiquarian another question about the Trilanta life. So the frequent releases that we turned to recently, how do they sort of affect your workflow now?
They've been really beneficial, actually, from our end. Usually, we're holding quite a long queue of tasks that we want to complete, things that we want to introduce into the game, and things that we want the players to have access to. And in the previous cadence, we were sort of like just building up a whole big mass of new material that was finished, completely done, but couldn't show people. So if someone made a request, hey, can we have this? You kind of had to play that closer to your vest. Now we can crank out things on a slightly more accelerated pace. As soon as an artist is done with something, or as soon as a concept has been completed, we can get it immediately into the pipeline and announce it to the players. And also for defect fixes, occasionally you get into sort of a gray area, sort of in between releases, where you could force through the fix and then everyone has to update, or you could hold on to it for the release and then throw it in with whatever else you're fixing there. And sometimes it's nice to have a faster release cadence so that you can just fix everything, or constantly have things in a state where they're about to be fixed, where that is about to show up in client.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, we're talking about that we changed the way we release stuff for EVE Online, where it goes on a 6-week sort of cycle. So every 6 weeks there'll be a big release.
Yep.
Going down from the 2 per year
to 10 now. Yeah. So approximately every 6 weeks. It's been working out really well in a lot of ways. We've had, I guess, the first releases that completely used the new cycle were Creus and Hyperion. The Chronos was kind of the first of them, but it was in a lot of ways more like the old ones. Yeah, I've been from our end too in like as a game designer on Team 5.0. It's been a really effective, helpful thing for us too.
Well, I think it's been good actually for interaction between our teams, because we're obviously generating all of the visuals for your guys' concepts, and you being able to drop out or to pull into a release just on the fly, month to month, making decisions on how development is going. It makes it a little bit better for us to respond. At least that's how I interpret it. Not speaking for everyone.
So what do we have to do to get you to put the flashing red and blue lights on the police pursuit comet only when you activate a scram on someone? You're pulling them over.
I will talk to my people as soon as I can.
Then we got to get the sound department to add sirens to it. It's perfect.
I will talk to their people, and I will mention that you were in on that, because that's gonna make a difference.
That would make it amazing. We already do police pursuit comet fleets. So every time you get a scram on somebody, a little whoop whoop, and it pulls them over.
Yeah, I want to introduce the white comet. So the white comet can go ahead first, and then when we've got a fleet of police pursuit comets chasing it across space, I think that is what's really going to sell the concept.
This should be the Bronco comet skin. Is that an OG joke? Maybe, I don't know.
There we go.
Moving on. Thank you, Bacchanalian. Somebody had to do that. If we go right back to the match that's coming up, Shadow Cartel versus the Afterlife dot. I forgot about the dot. Forget the dot.
Very important.
Very important.
Is it dot? Is it period? Is it full stop?
Yep. So it's dot.
We should say full stop every time.
The Afterlife full stop.
Afterlife full stop.
The Afterlife full stop.
You have to do it with Revolution as well. R full stop. E full stop.
Sorry guys, but I'm rather glad you're no longer in the tournament. Revolution, proving that dots do not provide power. But
Pac-Man disagrees.
Yes. So far the only team with dots in their name today has lost, MIF. So maybe that'll start a trend too. We can watch for that.
Then the match after this one, we've got teams that both have dots on the end.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, they're going to equal each other out.
This is high quality science that we go through to try and predict the winner in these matches. We saw Shadow Cartel almost take out Pandemic Legion. A lot of people would say that there was no almost, there was no danger. It was just toying with your meal, so to speak.
It was Shadow Cartel? No, that was pretty obvious, I think, that they could have beat. It was, and I know the mistake too. It was a Heretic pilot that hit the approach button on a micro jump unit, and it just meant that he wanted to get close to it. He was coming from the direction he wanted to jump in, and he hit approach, and then once he got within range, he activated it. But the speed at which he right-clicked on it to activate meant that he had already swung past it, and his ship started to turn back towards it. And so he was facing the wrong way when he jumped out. And you could see it in the replay, kind of exactly what happened with him. And you know it's just the approach button, that's what killed him. And if that hadn't happened, then Shadow Cartel would have won.
Manual piloting saves lives.
Imagine that. That is something to swing a match if I've ever heard of something. The Afterlife, on the other hand.
Yeah, so that was the Tinker that had some bumps going with it. So it was Afterlife brought a very effective shield Tinker. PL came and tried to start bumping him away. That put the logistics ship for Afterlife under a bit of cap pressure, but probably not desperate yet. But then he made the mistake of letting his ASB reload. So instead of continuing it running, he had it set to auto reload. So once he stopped it, so that he could save some cap, that started the reload cycle, and he fell apart.
And these teams are both teams that fell to Pandemic Legion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we should find a name for that sort of match, but I guess these are PL's victims, so to speak.
Yeah, they are definitely, I think, teams that were not happy to come up against in the losers bracket. They've been very strong coming in through this. They've been showing very strong performances. Both of them, talking to Elise, we've basically found out that they're both teams that as well PL came in expecting really, really tough fights from. PL was very worried about both of them and just kind of scraped by.
Rightfully so, because they've both made it into the final weekend, and that's nothing to be ashamed of.
And I mean, Shadow Cartel hasn't had an easy path through. Looking at it, have RVB, Waffles, Fearless, and Noir, all the 4 matches they've won. And for that matter, Afterlife had to get past CVA, Coven, Scumdot, and Godfathers. A couple of those are also respectable teams. So, you're talking about neither of these guys have had an easy run of it, and they're definitely getting the full run through the losers bracket here because of it.
Well, like we said, they have made it to the final weekend. We talked a little bit before about the prizes that we're giving out in the form of rattlesnake skins for every win. We also have Plex prizes. So everyone that made it to the top 32, so that made it into the kind of last half of the tournament, they got at least 5 Plex. So 32 to 17. Everyone in the top 16 gets 15 Plex. And everyone who's active today counts among that. So that includes the MIF and past the guys who were knocked out, but they are going to be getting a prize of 15 Plex, as well as the rattlesnake skins, as well as the medals for every member of their alliance. So they're going home not empty-handed at all. And every single one of these teams today that you'll be seeing all have won at least 15 Plex. And some of them are getting very, very close to getting the tournament prize ships.
Yeah, that is the low-hanging fruit, so to say, except low-hanging.
It's not exactly low-hanging.
It looks easy. It looks easy on paper, but
ships,
no, you can't say that.
Yeah, Antiquarian, have you been involved at all with the making the skins for the tournament prize ships that we put together a couple of releases ago?
I had to go with them earlier this week, but it wasn't involved in QAing. If there are any problems, it's nothing to do with me.
Oh, they look awesome. One of the things I love about them is they've got one of the most Guristas thing ever. These are Guristas prize ships. The Guristas are known for